Hello, hello. Welcome to Tapping Tuesday. I am Amanda, and what we're going to do here for the next hour is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Now, if you don't know what that is, but you would like to, then this is a great opportunity for you to get real hands on experience with it. It is a technique that's been around for a while. There's a lot of scientific validation behind how it works, but I'm not going to go into that during this session. This is actually just hands on. You get to experience what tapping is. If you would like to know the science behind it, you can absolutely find that on our channel. We have hundreds of videos explaining all of that. That is at EFT Universe on YouTube. So if you just Google, or not Google, sorry, if you just search in YouTube EFT Universe, then our channel will pop up. You'll see all of those videos. The way you can participate today, however, is by following along. If you don't know tapping at all, don't worry, you'll have it down by the end of the session here together. Keeping in mind, and I'll give you prompts. I'll help you with this as we go along. What's in your way? What is it right now that feels like you're stuck, or it's overwhelming? There's something that you don't have any control over, but you would like for it to be different. Something that you have that you don't want, something that you don't have that you do want. It could be something as simple as a pet peeve. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in your life or on your mind. What it does do is it helps regulate the body or the stress signals that you're having, and help you focus or see other thoughts or opportunities that may not be obvious to you right now. So, if you have questions as we go along, I may answer them if they're quick and easy. If not, then please know that you can always email me, and I would love to support you and whatever knowledge that you're looking to gain with EFT. My email is at the top of the chat. I will also say it out loud. It is amanda@eftuniverse.com. Now, for some reason, my internet's being a little bit wonky today, so I'm assuming that we're all connected. Everyone can see me and hear me, because I don't see anyone telling me otherwise. So I'm going to say hi, and then we will get into it. Hi, John. Tell you about Sedona with Miriam? Sure. Not today, not right here, but it was great. It was really, really wonderful, and we're hoping to do more events to the same degree in the near future, but we don't have anything booked right now. Hi, Mama Hutch. Hi, Donette. Oh, thank you. I missed all of you as well. I appreciate you. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Lissy. I love my funky glasses. Yep. Thank you. I love them too. They have different colors, and I've actually ordered another pair. I think it's the first time I've ever done that with anything, but it just, yeah, they make me happy. Um, okay, we do have, oh, hi, Dr. Scott. Thank you. And how I want to know how your surgery went. I think you've had your surgery at this point, and the fact that you're here tells me something, right? You're at least good enough to be here, and I'm grateful for that. And you don't have to in front of everybody, but yeah, just glad to know that you made it through and you're okay. Um, oh, it was postponed. Well, I hope that's happy for you. For me, that's always really frustrating. So I'm sorry if that's what it is. Okay, and John, I appreciate. Um, yes, oh, so much that suggestion, which I will read in just a second out loud to the class. Um, we do have one email from a community member, and I didn't ask for permission to say who they are, so I won't. But um, the point that got brought up, I think, is really important to cover. I'll talk about it a little bit now, and then I am going to incorporate it into our tapping. And it was a big ask to please focus on the positive. Please focus on the positive, because that can be life changing if you focus on the positive. And I 100% agree with that. But I do have caveats with it, because it matters on how you focus on the positive. If you've ever had the experience of feeling like focusing on the positive is invalidating to you, is discouraging for you, isn't real, it brings up really negative emotions, like you start to feel anger or sad or um, lost or confused, you don't get a positive effect when you focus on the positive things. That's still a beautiful sign for you of your brain saying, yeah, positive sounds great, but ooh, look at all of this in the way. And it's really important when you have that happen to not go, nope, I'm broken. There's something wrong here. I can't do this, or I'm refusing to do this. There's just something I'm just going to give up. Because this being here just means you have an extra step. It doesn't mean that you can't reach that positive place, so that you're not capable of being positive. What it means is your brain is saying, um, this needs to be addressed first, is all. And yes, there are ways that you can tap and kind of set that aside, especially if it's something that you're not going to resolve. And maybe you've tried tapping on it and it doesn't help. You're like, well, I don't know how to find the spot that's going to make it better. So I need to just set that aside for now. There are ways to do that as well. But I just wanted to bring that out front and center, because there are so many things that are happening right now, environmentally, politically, and then a lot of people that I just know personally. It's just a hard time right now. So finding that place to be positive and continue to move forward can be a little bit more complex than it is at other times. Pardon me. So I'm absolutely going to incorporate that into our tapping today. And I just wanted to acknowledge that email. So I'm going to see what else you guys are tapping in or typing in. Then we'll get grounded and get into the tapping. Let's see. So John suggested helping quiet the noise of the world, um, the elections, war in the Middle East, et cetera, et cetera. Glad to hear that that's okay with you, Dr. Scott, that your surgery got postponed. Mama Hutch is saying, I'm trying not to feel overwhelmed while waiting on multiple injuries 8 weeks ago. Okay. Okay, you had feelings during another tapping session yesterday. Okay. And Mama Hutch clarifying, waiting on healing, muscles and ligaments. Oh, that does take a while. And that I understand that. Where you are as far as that healing space goes. Hi, Reiki Rose. I'm happy to have you here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get grounded. I'm going to do this in a slightly different way than we have before, and let me know if you like it. Okay, so go ahead and take a breath, whatever feels good for you, and let it out. And just sit for a few seconds. And as you're sitting, check in on your body. See if there's anything that is asking to be adjusted, whether it's sitting up straighter or sitting over more curved, if it's relaxing your muscles and just kind of letting everything go, or maybe you need to give something a little bit of range of motion. See if that's what your body is asking for. Just tune in, and if it's something simple that you can do right now, go ahead and do that. Shift your weight, take a breath, flex the muscle, relax the muscle. Let's take another breath. And let it out. Now I want you to think of your body in terms of frequency. And to really oversimplify this, because I don't want your brain to go down that too far, is I want you to think of there's this middle range of kind of neutral, calm, good, right? This is the space when our frequency is within these boundaries. That's when we would say, okay, I'm doing good. And then above that is where they're too much. It's too strong. It's too intense. It's spinning too fast, out of control. And then below that is where it's too low. So there's just not enough. There's not enough energy. There's not enough cognition, not enough solution, not enough comfort. What's just lacking. There's something lacking. And go ahead and see your body in whatever way you can. Visualize your body as just all of these frequencies bouncing around. Your thoughts are frequencies, your hands are frequencies, your organs are frequencies, your ligaments, your tendons, all of you are frequencies. And now see this chart, this feedback chart that you have. What is in that upper part where it's too much? It's too loud, it's too fast, it's too crazy. And you're really feeling that in your body. Feel where that feedback is coming from, where things are too fast, they're too loud, they're too much. They're too much right now. And then as you see where those are in your body, go ahead and take a breath. And invite those frequencies to connect with the frequencies in that mid-range and see them interacting, kind of like when you see rings in a pond. You've dropped a rock in over here and a rock in over here, and now they're kind of floating. See those frequencies starting to combine, and they're having an effect on each other. And if you can give it permission, allow those frequencies, or those too fast, too loud ones, to really start to come down into that middle range. Feel those upper frequencies starting to relax down into the good section. And let's take a breath here. And really feel those parts of your body that were spiking, the spikes, releasing that, creating space, slowing down and regulating. And now let's focus in on that bar that's underneath the good bar, where things are just a little too slow, or they're a little bit lacking. And really feel in your body where those too slow of frequencies are. Is it in your digestive tract? Is it in your brain? Is it with motor function? Is it in your emotions? Something where you're feeling a little bit depressed or discouraged, maybe. And note where those too slow of frequencies are. Now, if you can, see those frequencies start to interact with other parts of your body, other frequencies that you have that are in that level of good, that are starting to just, those ripples, starting to speed them up a little bit, just gently, with nice, gentle encouragement. And feel that lift, feel that brightness of these frequencies just starting to edge their way up into that range to where they're good. And as you see yourself with this range of frequencies that you are, notice that there's a lot of space. There's a lot of space in between these frequencies, a lot of room that allows you to create flexibility and to adjust where things are. And just allow that to be a part of this experience as we go into tapping today. That you are plastic, meaning flexible and adaptable. And let's go ahead and take a breath. And as you're sitting here buzzing with your frequencies, all aware and interacting with each other, let's set a quick intention and then let's get right into tapping. And feel welcome to join me if you would like. It is my intention that as we tap together today, that even though we are around the world and we're experiencing different things, that we are a community. And that even though we're at great distances from each other, that we are connecting in a very real sense, in real time, right now. And that the intention that we have spans that distance. And the care that we have for each other spans that distance. And that you being here and your personal vibrations and makeup of frequency matters, and that your contribution is important, whether you're showing up feeling wonderful or you're showing up feeling like you would really like to shift where things currently are. that you have value and you add value in being here in this community. And it's my intention that by the end of this session, you will feel better. You will feel seen, you will feel heard, you will feel connected, and potentially have a solution or just a better feeling in your body about where you are in your journey. Okay, let's take one breath together. Alrighty, let's get into our tapping. I'm just going to double check on input. Okay, Maribel said limiting beliefs, and Violet, fear about moving forward into the unknown. Okay. Rashawn, hi. So your book in the background, so to Amazon to get it. Sarah and Faye recommended for sort of I got your book too. Oh, yay. It just arrived and you're excited to read it. Yay. Wonderful. Well, if you have any questions, email me. Like you have access. So thank you for sharing that. That made my day. Hi, Zahara. Checking out the shadow. Okay, now I just want to make sure I understand what you mean by checking out the shadow. What my brain says that means is like the shadow side, the shadow person, the heavier side of who we are, right? If we're looking at us as a whole, then that's looking at more of like the heavier, darker side of our experience. Let me know if that's not it. Um, Oh, Marion, no worries. I'm glad that you're able to be here. Uh, sure, I'm happy to talk about my book, but yes, I will do that at the very end. Um, mental hijacking. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so mental hijacking. So I'm hearing a lot of cognitive mental weight and some physical kind of chronic long-term things, really being, um, issues today. You had blue hair, it got all over everything. Yes. But it is still fun. Okay. To start, let's start with let's just go ahead and start tapping while I'm thinking. Let's start with talking about how to be positive. And ironically, we're gonna start in a very negative space of, but how? How do I be positive? How do I be positive? Um, you could take this from a genuine ask of, I wonder what all choices do I have in which to be positive? You could take it from more of an angsty standpoint of how I demand you tell me, how would you be positive with all of this? How am I supposed to be positive? Um, or another aspect, if being positive is not something that you're struggling with at this time, you could choose a different aspect or emotion. How do I be confident right now? How do I be brave? How do I be assertive? How do I, another term that is more fitting for you? And then whenever I say positive, you just replace it with what fits best for you. If at any time you have a word that is more fitting for you than the one that I'm choosing, please substitute that in. I 100% believe that you have a better pulse on what's going on for you than what I'm able to provide here. I'm here for your support, for your guidance, but please do trust yourself as far as your brain, your body saying, let's try this for us. Okay. As I consider how to be positive, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now, being positive may not feel good to me right now, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider and ponder how to be positive, it may not be entirely clear right away. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I accept any and all thoughts. I accept any and all feelings surrounding being positive. It is okay and acceptable and my right as a human being to have my thoughts and my feelings. And I trust that I can find and figure out how to be where I want to be in regards to being positive with and including all of my thoughts and feelings. But I wonder, what does being positive mean to me? What is my current definition of being positive? Hmm, being positive. My definition of being positive. Maybe I was taught that being positive means you pretend. You pretend everything's okay. And you just be bright and bubbly and you hide everything else. And anything else that doesn't fit in this, it just doesn't matter. Maybe I was taught that if I didn't pretend, I was punished. Maybe I got grounded. Maybe I got excluded. Maybe I got judged. Maybe I got mocked. Maybe I got bullied. I wonder, what else could I possibly think about being positive? Maybe I think being positive means that I'm being irrational, that I'm being delusional, that if I don't have concrete logic proof directly in front of me that I can point to, then I can explain to the most naysayer person that I've got in front of me. If I can't do that, then I have no right to be positive, or I'm just being ridiculous. Maybe I have a fear of being positive. Maybe I'm afraid to trust because then what if it doesn't happen? Because then won't I be a fool and I'll be so hurt and angry and I'll feel let down. Being positive might feel like it's a risk, and it might feel like too much of a risk. Even if some or all of these considerations about being positive exist in my current definition, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. If any of these things exist in my definition, I probably learned them somewhere, likely from another person or another experience. And it's possible that I took on someone else's definition and I didn't even know it. I didn't even realize that this was part of what I felt about being positive. And it's possible that part of this definition is something I accepted in a moment of overwhelm at a time where it wasn't really fair to make that judgment, but I wasn't aware that that's what was happening. So I've just operated from that space ever since. But now I'm aware of it. From wherever I got these bits and pieces about being positive that mm, now I'm saying don't really fit for me, I give myself permission to release them. Even if I don't know where they came from, even if they don't make sense to me, even if a part of me is really curious and kind of wants to dive into it and figure all of this out and where did that come from, I can always go back and figure that out if I really want to. But I give myself permission to release it first. I give myself permission to let it go right now. I don't need to hold on to it until I figure all of that out. So, clean slate. Clean slate on my definition and my belief on what being positive is. What do I fill it with? What do I want my definition, my power, my connection with positivity to be? Because I do believe there is strength in being positive. I do believe that it's a good feeling. But how do I apply that to my life, my circumstances, my beliefs, my experiences? I wonder. Maybe being positive is holding space for myself and telling myself, you know what? All parts matter. Everything that I'm feeling and thinking, all of it matters. It all has a space right here, a squishy, soft, safe space. Maybe being positive is allowing myself to look at something in all of the shades in which it's currently presenting, whether that feels positive or negative, and then say to myself, yes, all of this spectrum is true. However, since I get to choose where my attention is put, I acknowledge the existence of all of this, but I am choosing to focus in on this part. I choose to focus in on this aspect. So maybe positive thinking is boundaries and choice and clarity and power. Maybe I already have a really good idea of what being positive is for me. And maybe this has been really mind blowing and I have no idea. I'm still stuck back on what I used to think being positive was. Whether or not I currently have a good idea of what I believe being positive is, or I'm really still trying to gather even beginning thoughts. I trust that it's already having a positive overall effect on me. And I am able and capable of figuring out my perfect definition in time. And that whenever I find it, it will be impactful, it will be delightful, and it will be right on time. It's okay for this to be a process. I don't need to rush it. And it's okay for my definition to change because I'm constantly changing. It makes a lot of sense that my definitions of my words and how I perceive my actions change too. Being positive, my choice of being positive, my application of being positive. And as I continue to explore and adjust and add to this new, powerful, wonderful definition of my own version of being positive, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause on tapping. Let's take a breath. Well done. Take a moment and just feel in your body. If you feel a little bit more like an expansion of space, if you feel more calm, if you feel more lifted, just a positive feeling, that's a really good sign that you were able to tap into something that is an upgrade for you. You were able to calm, regulate things in your body, and your brain is agreeing to the things that you tapped on. So, good job. Also, if you're feeling tired, if you're yawning, those are also signs. I'm going to check the chat. Okay. And Catherine, fear of making the wrong decision, especially financial. Oh, those are tough. Um, there are some people who are so positive, it's so strange. Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, we're all different, right? And I've met people who are so abundantly positive and it feels so genuine. And yeah, I'm just floored and I'm going, what must it be like to be in your brain? Like, I really would love to experience that. And then I've met people where it feels painful, like they're trying to force it to be real, and it's we're all in there somewhere. So yeah, that was my dad. Oh, he ordered me to be happy. Yeah, that's Dr. Scott, I think you lived at my house. Yeah, I mean that used to be the tools, right? The tools that we had. Luckily, we have better ones now. That feels like a really good upgrade. Yay. Okay, reframing without overblowing the positivity bugle. All right, let's move on. Let's go into let's go into mental stress because that can have such an effect on our physical body. And I dare say this may not be true for everybody, but it just seems to be a very persistent uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It seems to be very common that emotions affect physical in a really abundant way. So that if you try to address what's physical, but you haven't addressed emotional, that kind of is a block. So addressing emotions first can usually allow you to really dive into what's left of what's physical. And I'm just reviewing things that people have said about mental and emotional stress, the big overall picture of everything, worrying about what's unknown, what's coming, making decisions, um, having intrusive thoughts, having limiting beliefs, mental hijacking. Um, I really like the word fear for this. Um, and what I'm really feeling is a sense of like When's it gonna explode? When's it gonna explode? When's it like it's a ticking bomb. This thing is a ticking bomb. It's a ticking bomb in front of me. And yeah, I'm trying to make decisions. Yeah, I'm trying to move it. I'm trying to figure out, nope, that's not right. Nope, that's not right. That's always this about to explode in my face. It's a fear, but also like an anxiety fear of like, how much more time do I have? How much more resource can I find before it's too late? Before it's too late and now it's big and it's gone and now what do I do? Now can I do anything? It feels like that. Like it's we're just waiting all of this fear, like, but what is that gonna happen? I hope that was clear. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I sometimes I wonder if I should watch back these videos and see if the words in my animations, if any of it translates through. I hope it does, for you. Focusing in on words for this tap. Um, I am going to use the word fear. If there is a word that's better for you, absolutely substitute that out. And I am going to focus on before it's too late. Okay, because that just feels really pressing. Um, And if that phrase doesn't ring true for you, then find another barrier or boundary that is a concern. I'm worried that I'm not going to figure this out before I'm out of money. I'm worried that I'm not going to figure this out before it's permanent damage. I'm not going to figure this out before I have nothing left to give, wherever that line is for you of like past the point of no return. Whew. Before we dive into this with words, because I feel like this could already be really triggering and really big, just keep tapping. Make sure you're breathing and just pay attention to where you're feeling this in your body. When you're thinking about these words that we're about to tap on, we're not tapping on it yet, but we're about to. Where do you feel that in your body and what sensation is it? Does it feel like a tightening? Does it feel like a twisting? Does it feel like a buzzing? Um, is it something that's closing something off or taking up too much space? What does it feel like? Do you feel it in your throat, in your chest, in your spine, in your stomach, in your gut? And just really have an idea of what that area is. And let's take a breath. Let it out. And let it out with a little bit of gusto. We'll do another breath. And as you're focusing in on this space in your body and all of what it's feeling on what we're about to tap on, let's just talk to it a little bit. And let's say, body, I feel you. I feel how stressed you are right now. And what I'm about to tap on isn't to further that stress. It may feel that way because we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it right on. And that is big. And it does feel scary. And I don't know that right now we're going to find a solution, but I'm here to help. And I'm here to make things better. I'm here to support you, body. I'm here as your friend. I'm here because I care. And it's okay for you to be feeling these big feelings. And it's also okay to let some of that go because right now we are in a safe place and I am a safe person for you. So it's okay to let go of some of this big emotion. I hear you. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into our tapping. As I focus in on my fear, fear in general, but also my fear of being too late for anything to be different or to be better or for a solution. Even though focusing in on this is hard and it's big and it doesn't feel good right now, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I acknowledge that this is where I am. I acknowledge that this is where this is and that it's real. It is real. And even acknowledging that is scary. But even though I have all of this fear, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And even though right now this feels too big and too much, I hold space for a solution. I hold space for there to be answers that are good, influences that are positive, that make a difference, that have an impact, that are as big, if not bigger, than the full sum of these fears and these outcomes that I'm currently so upset about. I acknowledge that these things that I'm feeling fear on, they're not okay. And it's okay that they cause fear in me. They should cause fear. They're not good things. It is a normal human response for me to feel icky and horrible about this. And not knowing how to make it better, not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing if the next thing is going to be it. Even though there are all of these aspects that are big and real, and I don't have control over them. Even with all of this, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. But why? Why does that matter? In the face of all of this, with all of these big things happening, why does it matter? Why does it matter for me to say that I deeply and completely accept myself? Why am I bothering to do this? Well, it may be true that I am one person, but I am one person who is a part of this community. And I am one person who is showing up. I'm showing up, and other people are showing up too. I'm not alone in this. There are other people like me who are also concerned, who also want it to be different, who also have a desire for change. When I think about what's happening, it is big and it is scary. and it is bigger than me, but I'm not in this by myself. I'm not the only one who wants better, who wants different, who wants positive. And my contribution towards that is real. It does make a difference. Maybe I've got 1% and someone else has 30%, but hey, if there were 100 people with 1% and we all show up, that's powerful. So even though I look at this and it's big and it's scary, maybe something I can do is look at what else is in the picture. Because the scary thing is there, that's true. But what else? There's me. I'm here. There's my community. They're here. There are other communities. They're here. There are good people. So many good people. I wonder how much time and consideration am I giving to that? Could I, would I feel better, more empowered, stronger, more capable if I allowed myself, if I gave myself permission to consider other aspects as well, like other really good people, people who are strong in ways that are the same as me, and we're stronger together, and people who are strong in ways that I am not strong. And so we make up for each other in that way. And we create this incredible tapestry of good. And maybe I could give myself permission to spend time finding them, focusing on them, listening to them, connecting with them, engaging with them. This is big, but I don't have to solve it alone. It is okay for me to feel what I feel. And it is also okay for me to looking for the word that I'm feeling. Combine. It is okay for me to combine my positive intentions and layer that in with others who are strong, who are capable, who have a desire. Because as much as it is true that scary things are happening, isn't it also true that positive things are happening? And that the way positive things happen is by combining, connecting, collaborating. And maybe not all of the things on my mind are global. Maybe some of these things are smaller in the world. Maybe it's just my world, more of an immediate concern. But even then, couldn't it be true that there are others, that there are places where I can find a place to connect, a place to combine, even if I'm pretty low. I've got a 0.5%. That's still something. And there are places where people used to be a 0.5% and they got help and they are looking to turn around and give that back. So even though right now I may feel a lot of fear, I feel a lot of pressure, I feel unknowns, worries, and I don't know when that point is going to be too much. Right now, I do have the choice and the ability to include in this equation other people that maybe I haven't included yet, other tools, other assistance. And as I give myself this permission, maybe I'm flooded with thoughts. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still not quite sure where that would be or where I could look. But whether I have a lot of ideas or I'm open to ideas, but I don't have any right away, I choose to hold space for the balance to come to me, for the balance to become visible to me. And as I accept all aspects, not just the negative parts of this experience, but all of the positive, all of the other influence, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause and breathe. I'll take just a moment and consider that, just lightly, kind of from a distance, think about whatever that fear was, whatever it was that you tapped on, and just see if it feels different. See if it feels a little bit further away, a little bit smaller, not quite so big. It doesn't have quite the visceral effect in your body as it did when we very first started tapping. Remember how we had to tap it down before we even started tapping directly on it? And if that feels different, then good job. You've made a lot of progress in the way that your brain is agreeing to look at it. And that can have a really profound effect. So good job. Okay. And I'm going to check the comments, and we've got enough time for just another little tap. Oh, thank you, Reiki Rose. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, to zone of self, unresolved hurts. Okay, Zahara, I hear you. I hope that some of that helped. I don't know that we're going to be able to jump into all of that this last little bit. If it's not touching on what exactly you need, always email me. Feel free to email me. I'm always happy to continue suggesting things throughout the week. I love to be here for you, if you feel comfortable reaching out. Um, okay, let's see. I'm going to go a little bit broad with this last little bit. This is not something I do very often, and it's a way for you to be more specific, but two, dissociating from something in particular, because we can really dive super deep into something and then just kind of allowing a broad stroke, like a broad brush, can be clearing. And it can be a really nice way to kind of sneak away from the process of tapping. What I mean by that, I'll explain it for just a second, and we'll get right into it. Is I'm going to use bigger, vague terms, like whatever is left, anything else I might be feeling. If you still feel like, no, but this thing is lingering, this one thing, please go ahead and zero in on that. You don't have to follow this obtuse angle that I'm about to go on. Okay. As I consider my body as a whole, my body with my brain, my spirit, everything that I am for me to exist. And I take just a quick assessment of good, better than good, less than good, whatever it is that I feel in this moment. I deeply and completely accept myself. As I consider whatever it is that I came to this tapping session with, that's still there. Darn it. It's not all gone. I choose anyway to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though it may not feel okay that something is lingering, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I trust that my brain is trying, my body is healing, and progress is being made. And sometimes progress feels it feels like things. Sometimes it feels like big emotions. Sometimes it feels like I'm more confused than when I started. Sometimes it feels like permission to let things out that have been hidden for a while. Sometimes progress feels plateaued and uncertain. Like, I don't know, is this progress? Have things changed? Even though what I'm currently experiencing may not be my picture perfect idea of what I want progress to feel like. I'm not feeling my gold medal right now. I'm not feeling my finishing ribbon across my chest. I'm not feeling the cheers of completion. I give myself permission to acknowledge that I showed up. I did it. I'm here. And I give myself permission to acknowledge that, yeah, I do feel different, maybe a little better, maybe had an insight, maybe I got to speak out and I got acknowledged. And that even if it's not all better yet, I can acknowledge that I did get those things. And even though I really, really would just like for all of it to be better, and it's not yet, I still hold space for and give myself permission to feel good about what I do have. Because what I do have is a community that cares. I have people who hear me. I have people who love me and I have a way to continue. And that's a lot. So as I move along and continue to seek how to put this down for good or how to receive something completely, I give myself permission to acknowledge the increments and to trust that even small increments have a lot of power. And as I go throughout the rest of my week with these thoughts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause and take a breath. Take just a moment and feel into your body and see how you're feeling now in comparison to how you felt the beginning of our tapping session. And if you feel better, acknowledge that and tell yourself, good job. And that's amazing. And how wonderful. And really congratulate your brain and thank your brain for being willing to collaborate with you. Thank you so much for joining with me. I do remember you asked about my book. I am going to chat about that now. So if you already know about it, whatever, we're done tapping. But I want to answer this question for those who are interested. I did write a book. I wrote a book over. So I've been in the business of healing for about 20 years. And it's just been astounding to me the patterns that I have seen with people um, across the spectrum of whatever it was that they were facing, and very specific tools that. And I seem to draw to me people who, chronic, mysterious people had given up on. They've kind of given up on themselves. They were kind of embarrassed to come in and say, "Oh yeah, I have this problem. I'm sorry." Just that like, oh, kind of a feeling, multi-layered, because that was me, right? Like, so, it was my honor to try and assist other people out of that place. Um, and tools to empower oneself when that is where you're finding yourself really difficult. And often when someone is in that space, it's already really hard and really heavy. So then trying to add complicated tools in there to lift yourself up, it doesn't it doesn't math out. So my book is on a tool set called the Five Rhythms of Chinese Medicine. They're most well known for their physical attributes. If you go to a Chinese medicine doctor, that's what they use. And I do not have all of that knowledge. That's definitely very different than this small scope of the rhythms that I have. Where I focused in on them is more how to explain yourself as a person, more of a personality type attribute. So there's fire, earth, metal, water, wood. And we all have all five, which is in Western culture, we tend to isolate things. Like we have a doctor for our heart, we have a doctor for our muscles, we have a doctor for our intestines. And that's kind of how this concept has been picked apart in Western civilization as well. Even someone who talks about the five rhythms is typically like, well, you're a water, you're a fire, you're an earth, when in reality you're all five, and they all come into play all the time. And that's really important to understand, especially with this model if you're trying to apply it. And I go into a little bit behind the science of, how we're energy, how that can affect yourself and other people. I do talk a little bit about tapping in it because tapping is absolutely one of my most favorite tool sets in healing and adjusting the nervous system and how the brain is perceiving things. That's kind of all I'm going to say about it right now. If you have more questions, email me. I'm happy to talk about it. But that's all I'm going to steal this platform for in talking about it. It's called, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I'm blanking on it. The Rhythm Matrix. I had to look over. I have a copy sitting over there. It's called The Rhythm Matrix by Amanda Miller. It's on Amazon is the only place I have it up right now because I got to figure out posting it on other platforms. But yeah, That's it. And if you get it and you have questions, let me know. It's just meant to be helpful. I just want to help so much, trying to get as much out there as I can. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to my spiel. And I hope I get to see you next week. Take care. Mwah. Bye.